Thank you so much for sticking with us for Inside the Valley on this Sunday, April 22nd. Today on the show, I'm joined by Amanda Sasser and Pam Voss with C.A.M.P University, and you guys are here to talk about a very special event, a night at the races, and I feel like I'm missing my hat. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about C.A.M.P University.
Yeah.
So what is the need for a program like this in our community?
Well, we got started 11 years ago, and it was to address a need that was in our community. My little sister had just graduated high school. She's autistic, and in the state of Texas, you must graduate at age 21, whether you're ready or not. And in her case, she was most definitely not ready. She could not drive. She would not be able to get a job, could not go to college. It was before cell phones when you can program numbers in, so she couldn't call any friends. You know, her life just kind of ended after high school, and we looked around for different options for her, and just nothing seemed to fit, and it just kind of seemed like the end of everything. You know, watching TV for the next 60 years sounds kind of nice in theory, but you know, practically, I don't think any of us would ever be comfortable doing that.
Right.
And you know, she wants that full life. So we started getting friends together that she'd gone to school with, and we created a small group, and it's just really kind of blossomed since then and really become something big. And so now it's a full day habilitation, and Pam is our wonderful exec director. And, I'll let you tell them about the program.
We now have C.A.M.P University serving our special needs young adults 5 days a week.
Okay.
Until last year, we were only a 3-day program, and now we, with the blessing of Valley Baptist Legacy Foundation, we were able to increase our enrollment and have students on Tuesday and Thursday as well. So even some of our students come 5 days. So it's a wonderful place where we help these precious people learn, continue learning and practicing their social skills and life skills and job skills and other things that they need to do to have a meaningful life.
So it's more of like a continuation of school, but with that adult edge to it that they're
Yes.
not getting in high school.
Yeah, we want it to have a university type feel where all of their friends are going off and they'll do their basics, of course, which you know may or may not interest us, and then they have their major field of study, or they will start looking at career options and training for that. They still get to hang out with their friends. They get to, you know, I know when I was in college I did intramurals and things like that, and you go to sports games, and there's a whole life that happens after you graduate high school. And now that we're starting to put our special ed students into regular ed classes that they can handle, they hear their friends talking about, oh, this is what I'm going to do when I graduate. And we want them to have that same experience where they can be excited and they can get the same things out of life that their peers do. And it's also a benefit for their families that thought that their kids would never be able to do the same things that other siblings are getting to do.
And so what kinds of things are we learning when we go to C.A.M.P University?
Well, we cook a lot.
Okay, that's important.
We practice things like how to fold your clothes, how to make a bed, hygiene, games. We teach them games. We sometimes take field trips. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we went to the zoo in Brownsville. About once a month, we try to make it to a movie. And then, of course, we have Special Olympics, and we're coming up with that next week, the spring games of track and field. So we've been working on that as well.
So what types of growth do you see in your people that go to C.A.M.P University?
Oh, it's huge. And everybody has a different story. It might be something small like, you know, you've been isolated for the past 10 years and today you made a friend. And that's just huge for us.
Very important.
But then others might come to us being nonverbal, and after a while they go home and they tell their parents for the very first time, this is what I did today. And that's really big. So it ranges, and every day we get to see all these little miracles, and it's very rewarding.
It sounds like it. So if you have a student who's in high school, is this the time when you'd start looking into enrollment for them?
Absolutely.
And how would you go about with that process?
On our website, there's an application that they can print out and fill out and bring into us, or they can always pick one up at the office. We do a quick interview to figure out what it is that they are expecting, what they need, all that kind of stuff, and then we'll give them a tour of the facility. They get to do 3 days of trial to decide if they like the program, if they're comfortable. We want everyone to be very happy coming in, and then we also want to see how they interact with our students. And then after that, that's pretty much it.
And we welcome them, and it's a very joyful place. The students seem to encourage each other. There's always laughter you can hear, and people saying, "Come on, you can do this, come on, join us." And so it's a very meaningful place to be in a day where outside in the world it's a little harsh, but we have fun, and that's one of our rules, to socialize and have fun.
Wonderful.
And if students are still in high school, if they're juniors and seniors, we also will welcome them in the summer. It's the same application process, but they get to try it out before they graduate.
Okay, so they get a little test run before they decide to actually go off to university.
Yes.
So what types of, is there any sort of an age group or anything? Who
Well,
can go to university?
One of the issues that we always had when my little sister was growing up is that we'd find a program and she'd get to do it for a year or two, and then they would age her out. And you know, that was coming from a time when we really had no opportunities for her, and so it was exciting to find one, and just depressing to be kicked out after a year, just due to age. And so we've made a conscious effort never to age anyone out. Nobody's ever graduated. As long as they find it beneficial, then we want them to be there. So our youngest is 21, and our oldest is about to turn 60.
Oh, that's wonderful. So there's a mix of everybody there.
There
Oh
is.
yeah.
So you guys have a special event coming up May 1st. Tell us about it.
So A Night at the Races is Kentucky Derby themed. We obviously encourage all of the ladies to wear their hats.
And the gentlemen.
And the gentlemen, we have a hat competition where they can win some really awesome prizes. And a couple years back, we had some complaints from the men saying, "I wore a hat and I want a prize." So now we have a Dapper Dan category.
Everybody's included.
It's a lot of fun. We have horse races that will play on the 2 big screens, and you can place bets on those for a chance to win some really amazing prizes. Those are much better. And of course, there's raffles and live auctions and silent auctions. There's a big dinner. There's live music. We have a photo booth, so you can take home your souvenir photo.
So it's at the McAllen Convention Center on May 1st. What time is it at?
Starts at 6.
It starts at 6. And what is it benefiting?
All of our students. This is our one big fundraiser that we do every year. We have, obviously a budget that we have to meet every year, and we try to get as much done through grants and foundations and all these different areas of support, but this is really what makes up about 1/3 of our annual budget. So it's a very big deal for us. This is what keeps our program growing and what helps us get more kids in every year. I would say in the last 2 years, every year we've added about 10 students.
Okay.
So,
Wow. So it's a very important event. Well, thank you ladies so much for being on the show with us today.
Thank you for having us.
So May 1st at the McAllen Convention Center, A Night at the Races. We hope to see you there. Stay with us. Inside the Valley, we'll be right back with more on Operation Military Kids Lives Matter Too.